have everyone kind of bring it on in. We've got plenty of space. My name's Giselle Sterling. I'm the Commissioner for the Mayor's Office of Veteran Services. I know Councilor Malley is going to be guiding us through this dedication, but before we begin, I'd like Post 76 to present the colors.
Oh my God. Present. Boom!
Y'all join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Sterling. Thank you to the incredible warriors of Post 76 in Jamaica Plain. I'd now like to invite Reverend Abby Henrich of Stratford St United Church to offer our opening prayer. Reverend?
Will you pray with me? Ever-present God, we give you thanks for service and for place and for memory. We give you thanks that this place is filled with so much meaning. For Elizabeth's 3 daughters, we give you thanks for her life of service, and we give you thanks that this life of service can be now honored. So remind us all of your presence here today through each and every one of our own stories, and may we especially share the story of Elizabeth. Amen.
Amen. Well, good evening, everybody. Or good afternoon, I should say. It is so great to be with all of you. My name is Matt O'Malley. I'm proud to be the District 6 City Councilor, and I have to tell you, I've been looking forward to this day for so long. About probably a year and a half or so ago, our neighbor, our friend, Bud Waite, reached out to me, reached out to Jessica Morris in my office and said, we want to do a hero square for a remarkable woman. Her name is Betty Denekamp, and she is a World War II veteran. She continued to serve her neighborhood, her city, her commonwealth, her country with honor and distinction for years. And I said, Bud, this woman sounds amazing. I'm sorry I never had the great opportunity to get to know her the way all of you did. I said, but I don't think that we do hero squares unless someone gives the ultimate sacrifice, dies in combat, which of course Betty did not do, despite the fact that she served of her own volition. She volunteered to serve as a young West Roxbury woman in the 1940s. But I reached out to Giselle Sterling, the Commissioner of Veterans Affairs, herself an Iraq War veteran, a Marine, a woman who has also served her city, her state, her country with honor and distinction. And the Commissioner said, I want to get involved. There is something we can do for this woman. So we are going to establish a Distinguished Citizens Square, which is the same thing, and you're going to see it. We're going to have the official unveiling shortly. But to get to that point, we needed to first have a City Council resolution. And I wanted to acknowledge that I've been joined by at-large City Councilor Anissa Asabi-George, who's my colleague on the Council. Councilor Asabi-George was my co-author on this, and if you'll just bear with me briefly, I'm going to read which passed the City Council unanimously. And nothing passes the City Council unanimously but for this. So it's a City Council resolution by myself, Councilor Matt O'Malley, and Councilor Anissa Asabi-George, as well as 11 other City Councilors. Every City Councilor signed on. And it reads, whereas Elizabeth Mackey Denekamp, known as Betty by her family and friends in Boston, was born on September 26, 1923. And whereas Elizabeth Denekamp was raised by her parents, Elizabeth and Norman Howden, on Glenhaven Road in West Roxbury, where she returned to raise her children, Linda, Sandra, and Cindy, with her husband Herman Bob Denekamp. Whereas Elizabeth Denekamp was proud to serve her country in the United States Marine Corps during World War II. And whereas when she turned 20 years old, Elizabeth Denekamp left West Roxbury and enrolled for clerical duty. And whereas during her active service in Parris Island, South Carolina, Elizabeth Denekamp reached the rank of corporal. And whereas Elizabeth Denekamp continued to live a life of service and remained active as a member of the Women's Marine Association, Baystate Chapter MA-1, a volunteer with the VA hospital right down the street, and a member of the Stratford St United Church, therefore be it resolved, the Boston City Council recognizes and remembers Elizabeth Denekamp for her honorable service and sacrifice by dedicating the intersection of Glenhaven Road and Paragon Road in West Roxbury in her memory. Let's hear it for Betty, a friend, a true hero to so many. This will live on forever, and generations to come, you know, we'll be walking down, I think particularly of the young people in the neighborhood, and the young people to come to this neighborhood will walk down and we'll look up and we'll reflect for a moment on this remarkable woman. So we have a couple other speakers that I'd like to get to. The first is Commissioner Giselle Sterling. She is the Commissioner of the City of Boston's Veterans Affairs. As I mentioned, she served in active combat in Iraq as a Marine. She's a remarkable leader, someone I'm proud to call a friend, and just a terrific leader in our city. Please join me in welcoming Commissioner Giselle Sterling.
Good afternoon, everyone. It really is an honor to be here. I wish I knew Elizabeth, but just from hearing from everything that I've read and everything that I've heard and so many people that she's touched, it's only fitting that we make this dedication for her. And as a woman Marine, it's just amazing to know that she, along with her other lady leathernecks, paved the way for women Marines like myself to serve our country in the way that we feel we needed to. So I thank you for being here, and I thank the family for letting us share her memory. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner, and you continue to just serve us so well. We're so lucky. Thank you for being here. So the spark that lit this fire today, that brought us all together, as I mentioned, was Private First Class Bud Waite, who called our office, talked to Jessica, Bud Waite, excuse me, pardon me, sir. Bud Waite, who I've known a little bit through the neighborhood, and he knew Betty well. He's going to come up and talk a little bit about her and their great friendship, and you are a tremendous man, Mr. Waite, and you are eulogizing your dear friend and our dear friend in such a special and beautiful way, and we're just so very, very grateful for that. So please join me in welcoming Private First Class Bud Waite.
I don't know, is this supposed to be working, or?
Yes, sir.
It is working.
According to the TV.
Okay. Anyway, good afternoon to everyone. This is a great afternoon, a real beautiful afternoon. My name is Bud Waite, as Matt said. Most everybody around knows who I am, or maybe they just as soon not know me, I don't know. Anyway, I just want to say I am honored to have this opportunity to say a few words today. First, I want to thank Matt O'Malley and his staff with great appreciation for pursuing this commemoration with the City Council and being able to get their approval. Thank you. I am especially happy to have put my 2 cents worth into this whole thing. I feel pretty good about that. I had known Betty Denekamp and her family for many years, a very outstanding bunch. Actually, I had met Betty before I knew the girls. They don't maybe know that, but I met Betty a few years before that. I believe that there was some veterans function or something like that. I'm not sure what it was at this time, so long ago. Anyway, Betty and I would spend hours about talking about our times in the service. I was in the Army and she in the Marine Corps, but I always forgave her for that. A quiet, unassuming person who never made waves. She was an inspiration to all she knew and all who knew her. I admired her as my hero. And She was very dedicated and faithful to her Marine Corps and remained active in the Women's Marine Corps Association, ladies over there, and the Women's Marine Association, yes. An outstanding citizen. She joined the Marine Corps in 1943 at the age of 20. She just had to do what she could do when World War II broke out throughout the world. She couldn't hang around doing nothing. She remained in the service for about another 2.5 years. She came home, married Herman Denekamp, and they raised 3 great daughters, Linda and Sandy from West Roxbury and Cindy from Stoughton. She lived here on this corner of Paragon and Glenhaven roads the most of her life. She loved her home here. A graduate of Rosendale High School, she was a volunteer for many, many years at the West Roxbury VA Hospital. She gave over 70 years of service to her community, state, and nation. And she always lived by the motto, Semper Fi, throughout her life. Thank you, Betty. I salute you. At this time, I would just have to add to, I want to thank all the participants who are here today taking part in this service. Post 76, did I get that right? From Jamaica Plain, and I'm very happy to have you here. I don't belong to that post. I belong to Post 208 in Millis, where I was born and brought up, but I live in West Roxbury now for many, many years. And so all the people, all the friends and neighbors, I thank you all for being here today. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bud.
Thank you, Bud. Thank you so much. Ann Cushing, who's here representing State Senator Michael Rush, is with us. Thank you, Ann. I know State Rep Ed Coppinger sends his best. I want to thank my team, as I mentioned, Jessica Morris, Bill McGregor, my Chief of Staff. And I wanted to just especially recognize everyone who served. If you could just stand or raise your hand, who served through the years. I know we've quite a few veterans here. Thank you. A lot has been written about the greatest generation in words far more eloquent than my own. But I think how lucky we are to have known, to have worked, to have called parents or aunts or uncles or grandparents, those that served, particularly in World War II. And then when that was over, when that incredibly, unimaginably difficult tour of duty was over, they came home and they continued to serve in other ways, the way Betty did with the VA down the street, and just the lives that she's touched, the countless lives. We are a better city and a better country because of heroes like Betty Denekamp, and it is wonderful to be with all of you today as we celebrate this. So I'd like to, if we could maybe do a group picture, invite Bud, if you could just come right up here, and members of Betty's family to come up to take a picture by the sign. Please join us.
I don't want to repeat everything that's been said. I do want to thank everybody that is here today, certainly Madam Malley, Giselle, especially Bud Waite, who truly is a hero, crossing the Siegfried Line in Germany in World War II. I want to thank all of our veterans also. I would say, I'm just speaking for my mother, I think she'd be, I know she'd be very proud of this event. I think she'd also be a little embarrassed. I don't think that she thought of herself as a hero by any means. Her brother was in the Air Force in World War II. Her husband was in the Navy. You know, so many people that she served with fought in World War II on the active lines. But in growing up, I didn't think of her as a hero. She was just our mother. It was very different to have a mother who was a Marine, for sure. But I didn't appreciate it until later years. And then, you know, when I realized what she did do in paving the way for women in so many ways, from being first in service, you know, back in those days, and now women are in all branches of the service. It's remarkable. To going away from home at a time when the barracks were only outfitted for men. There were no women barracks back when she served. Wearing pants, everything. I mean, just World War II was an incredible time. So I really appreciated what she did and gave up as years went on. Anyway, I just wanted to end by saying just a couple of things this is from the Women Marines Association 50th anniversary celebration. And I know the ladies here, thank you very much for coming, know this. Women Marines Hymn, United States Marine Corps, we are proud that we are a part of you from now on. While we're in, we'll keep in trim, for the fight we're out to win. Hail, oh hail, the forest green, United Lady Marine. We're Lady Leathernecks, we're marching on to fame. We're here to fight, to make things right, and bring our men back home again. To bring honor to our Corps is what we're striving for. To wear the green of United States Marine and bring the peace forevermore. So that's for my mom.